We're back here at NECANN, Atlantic City. Mark Shepard, shout out to Mark Shepard, did a fantastic job. A great gathering of industry professionals, license holders, ancillary auxiliary, industry experts, all kinds of people from New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York. They're all down here. It's fantastic. It's got a nice vibe. It's got a nice vibe because the market structure in New Jersey has a lot of potential for it and potential for people who aren't involved in the industry yet, which is very important to creating a nice conference. So we're very, very happy to be here. But no visit to New Jersey is complete without hanging out with Lou, getting a report on where he's at, what he's doing, how the conference was, how New Jersey's doing. So one of my favorite people in cannabis, who I met at MJ BizCon, always shout out to MJ BizCon, is Lou. How you doing?
I'm good. You are also one of my favorite people. You are one of the true OGs, and we are all upon your shoulders and the work that you've done over a decade and a half or longer. And I really appreciate our friendship, and certainly you're always welcome to break bread with me, as you did last night when you're in New Jersey. And you have a terrific team, and just always happy to be here with you. And you're right, your instincts are right, as always, regarding New Jersey. And by the way, Mark Shepard's done another phenomenal job here. I think, and we all go to a lot of conferences, and MJ BizCon is the Super Bowl. There's no question. That is the place you've got to be if you're in this industry.
Yep.
But Mark has done, I think he's probably the biggest series in terms of impact nationally. It's not a one-off. MJ BizCon is like the Super Bowl, but he's done a great job here in Atlantic City. I think it's proven to be very successful. Your instincts are right about the market. Just to give you a little bit give your viewers some background on my experience. I've been an attorney for 43 years. I spent 15 years as a county commissioner, 15 years as a municipal attorney. I spent about 25 years now doing development work. I've done about $6 billion of development, malls, assisted living facilities, cable TV, cellular telephone, hospitals, motorsports parks. If it had brick or mortar, I touched it. 2018, moved into cannabis and saw the opportunity of that business as it's emerged here in New Jersey, and no shade to other parts of the country. But I think New Jersey seems to be a little bit farther ahead. New York seems to have litigation. Pennsylvania is only medical. I don't think they're going to get to recreation in the short term. Delaware and Maryland seem to be behind us. I think Connecticut and Rhode Island, even Connecticut has some litigation. But Massachusetts, I think, is also solid. But New Jersey you have 10 million people in about 3.5 hours. A lot of opportunities. What happened in Jersey originally is that only about a third of the communities opted in for any type of cannabis.
There's about 500 communities?
565 communities, and about a third opted in. But even those that opted in, many did not go with retail. They just did cultivation or processing. What's happening now is people are starting to realize there's that 2% plus some other community benefits you can get, and they're seeing each of their neighbors get them, these communities, but they're not getting them.
Right.
And they're saying, wait a minute, if we're seeing their benefits, why aren't we? So I think New Jersey is actually going to expand. I think it's very important, though, to know where you're going to go, because you don't want to be, I don't believe, in a place where there's lots of saturation, because you're going to cannibalize each other.
Yeah.
I think to the extent you can, you want to be in places where nobody's been yet, or there's very small impact.
Hey guys, we'll be right back to the podcast. But first, thank you to our sponsors, Jack Rare Brands, Karma 360, and Cali FX, and our friends over at NECANN for hosting us. All right, back to the show.
The other thing is there's still a tremendous opportunity for cultivation and processing, because there's still some supply chain issues, but it's very expensive to go in that route. When this first rolled out, people were talking about up to 150,000 square foot cultivation facilities. You can't afford to do that. A more intelligent way to go, or maybe a realistic way to go, it's a better word, is to phase it in. Say, you know what, we're going to start with 10 to 20,000 square feet, because it's about $400 to $500 a square to do it right in terms of cultivation. But I think there's a tremendous opportunity there. I would watch the other things that are going to happen, which is unfortunate. Some businesses are not going to succeed, and there'll be an opportunity to buy those assets. The thing that I tell people when I speak, and I've spoken now probably 24 times, I start out by saying, congratulations, you got a license, you have an opportunity to lose money. Because unless you operate it like a business and are focused like a business, you're going to lose money.
Right.
The only time gravity does not apply to cannabis is when we're using it. Otherwise, it always applies. With business, it's business formats matter.
And my experience when I consume cannabis is that gravity no longer applies.
That's what I mean. That's what the only time gravity does not apply is when we're consuming cannabis.
Yeah. When you're consuming cannabis. Yeah, I gotcha.
But if you're in a cannabis business, it does apply. You better make more money than you spend.
Gotcha.
And also you need to have compliance issues. I was here speaking on compliance. That's an important point. And you need to have professionals who know what they're doing. You do not want to begin with somebody's first file at this point. You don't want to be the one to break them in.
I want to break out a map of New Jersey right now, but I thought we have a human map in New Jersey. So I'll just ask you, 2/3 of the jurisdictions without retail stores yet seems to be a big push over the next 10, 20 years to change those ordinances and work with the different jurisdictions. What big cities are still available, or what small cities adjoining like Philadelphia, New York, et cetera?
Well, first of all, I think it'll happen within the next 5 years, not 20.
Okay.
And secondly,
well, it depends how hard you work.
There are many small cities and I'm not going to name them because
they can just call Lou and he'll tell you them.
Well, also because time is going to change, and this will last forever. This video, but I would say this to you: your instincts are right. I do not believe that I tell clients to kind of avoid the saturated urban areas.
Yeah.
For those areas where they're either unserved or underserved. Now, that does not mean you try to convince a community that doesn't want you to take that. You don't roll the rock up the hill because it just doesn't work. But what you do is keep your ear, know people, know your lawyers, know your accountants, know the insurance professionals, whoever they might be, and say, what are you hearing in the industry? Where are there opportunities? And then you go meet with the mayor. You go meet with the council president. You go meet with the county executive, and you say, listen, this is my story. Now, you need to have a story. You need to have, I believe, a responsible story, either in cannabis or some other industry, and say, I have a proven record of success. Because the other thing that these communities are hearing are the failures of cannabis and all of the bad stories that may not even be true.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I say to my clients is, show them that you do not have a horn and tails, that you're a real person, that you're a person of substance, and you have a plan. And this plan you can't guarantee success, but it will increase the likelihood of success. You're exactly right that you want to look at the collar communities outside of Philly. New York, I will tell you, Hudson County is very saturated. It's a great county, but very saturated. I'd look further west. I'd look in the middle of the state. Now, the other issue is Atlantic City is a great community, also lots of saturation.
Yeah.
Probably.
I saw 2 dispensaries across the street from each other.
Probably 7 or 8 dispensaries here, probably a dozen. The leadership in Atlantic City have this idea of making it a cannabis destination, which is a good idea if they can make it work. I'm just not sure that works in a community that makes most of its money in the summer. Now, understand, I go to casinos. I don't gamble, but I love the shows. I love the restaurants, and I do that year round. But a lot of folks focus on the shore from May to October.
Right.
And maybe you can make a lot of money then, but you better really have your act together. But the larger point I'm trying to make, though, is I would avoid areas that are saturated. Oh, and I would also look to see if there may be opportunities to purchase or to invest. There's a lot of folks that are up and running that have done all the mistakes, all the growing pains, but have run out of capital, investment opportunity.
Yeah.
They need somebody like you. They need people who are experienced to give them the pros and the cons, because this is a very tough business. It's one you can make a lot of money on, or one you can lose a lot of money on, depending on your level of preparation, your level of professionalism, your level of knowledge. I tell folks, I'm a lawyer. I couldn't grow. I wouldn't grow a good product.
Yeah.
You better know what you're doing, because if you grow a bad product, either it's gonna spoil because you'll have problems with mold or some disease because the plant is, although hardy, is sensitive, or you're not going to make a good product, or you're not going to process. Know what you do. If you have a retail background, then come and look at the retail space. If in fact you're a farmer or have that agriculture background, you can grow cannabis and you'll do well. You just got to figure out. Don't force it, because if you force it, the likelihood of success, I think, decreases dramatically.
But if you are a farmer in another state and you come to New Jersey, make sure you work with a local farmer, because every place is different. But the farmers know that.
The point's really right.
Even the greenhouses,
I am personally aware of a client that came from out of state that had a good reputation, but only got the approval because he partnered with a local, well-respected farming family. So your instincts are exactly right. Again, make sure you partner with somebody from New Jersey. There's also benefits for WMBE. There's benefits for veterans. Look at all of those areas. I have a little checklist, a cheat sheet, so to speak. The other thing you want to do is you want to work with a local college. Stockton does a great job. Rowan does a great job. Rutgers does a great job on the concept of cannabis. That's becoming a real business degree that's people are learning, understanding that this is an industry that's going to only grow and prosper. But like every industry, it's not going to be straight up. It's going to be doing this. And you want to make sure you're doing this and not doing this.
Who deserves credit out there for making New Jersey unlimited licenses, state level, but limited or whatever the local jurisdiction decides, local level? Who's the person? Is there a name?
Ironically, not ironically, he's the Senate president now, Scuteri. Before he was Senate president, just as a senator, he was passionate about this.
Yeah.
Started on the medical side because he understood the medical benefits, and then recreation. I think he's clearly the father of legalized cannabis. The governor said he would do this when he ran 8 years ago, and he's done it. It took a lot of political courage. It was not nearly as popular then politically among the small elites that it was among the electorate. Once it got into the electorate with a 75% approval, then it became a little easier politically. But when he started, it was a gutsy move to do it. Certainly any of the legislators have been supportive. The legislation was written well. The regulations were written well. The CRC, the Cannabis Regulatory Commission, they take a little bit of heat. I think they've done a good job, particularly compared to everybody else. You know, to quote President Joe Biden, don't compare me with the almighty, compare me to the alternative. Well, the alternative, looking at the other states, New Jersey has done better. Main issue with New Jersey has been capital and access to capital. That has been this
nationwide issue.
But I will say this to you. I believe that if I were looking in the Northeast, New Jersey, far and away, is the best place to be. And I'm not saying that because I'm here. I have affiliations with lawyers all over the country. I can deal with work all over the country. But they learned from the mistakes of the rest of the country. The other thing that's happened, and I don't know if this was intentional or just a consequence of luck, by virtue of the limitations locally, except places like Atlantic City where there's some saturation, there's not a lot of saturation yet, so that you're not cannibalizing yourself financially. And I think that's been a plus.
Well,
hey guys, we'll be right back to the podcast. But first, thank you to our sponsors, Jacka Rare Brands, Karma 360, and Cali FX, and our friends over at NECANN for hosting us. All right, back to the show.
It's hard to tell what is the exact right market structure, but I'm always seeking for less government and more local control. And so what New Jersey did is less government at the state level,
right,
and more local control at the local level. There must be some wild ordinances come up by some of these cities, huh?
Well, a lot of them copy each other.
They're copying each other? Okay, well, that could be smart.
So yeah, if it's good, it stays good. If it's bad, it stays bad.
Yeah.
The one problem that New Jersey has is it's very much about zoning. And so it's not only that you have a couple of things you've got to do. You've got to get a resolution of approval from the governing body. You've got to get a letter from the zoning officer says it's properly zoned. If you can't get that, you then have to go for a variance with the zoning board. So there's a number of levels locally. At any point, you could be tripped up, and it makes no sense to get all that done. It makes no sense to go to CRC until you get that done first. You've got to,
right.
And you go into the wrong community or a community that doesn't understand. Even if the town leaders want it, sometimes the zoning board or the planning board don't want it.
Oh,
give
no.
a hard time. I've had to go one community. I went 6 or 7 hearings before we had approvals. Now you have to have a tenacious lawyer. Frankly, you have to have a client that can afford the funding.
Yeah.
So that was, a unique circumstance. Thank God that of the 24 times I've done this, I probably only had to do that twice, where I've had to go into a series of hearings where we had to fight for it.
Hey guys, it's me again. Shout out to MJ BizCon, the biggest cannabis conference happening in Las Vegas, December 2nd through the 5th. We're building out our manufacturing and distributing project, creating real opportunities for brands and operators to connect and grow. If you want to get involved, reach out and be a part of it. It's going to be the hot market area. All right, back to the show.
Well, it seems like you're the right guy to have if you're going into looking for new retail. You find a place that you want to be. You're trying to put a retail place in New Jersey. Seems like you're the right guy to go to war with.
I appreciate that. I would say this to you, that the other thing of having my own shop is I don't charge for initial consultations.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel
Neither do I.
They have to. Exactly. That's why we're still working, by the way. So
I need to start charging for initial consultations.
I find that people are more likely to talk to me if they don't think they've got to worry about a fee coming, and they'll spend more time. So I get to know more about the file.
Yeah.
My email is Lou, Lou, at capital L for Lewis, capital N for Neil, capital M for Magazzu, LNM Laws plural, LAWS. So it's Lou at lnmlaws.com. Okay. Or you can, I'm on LinkedIn, and, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to give you a sense. And, anybody says they're coming from Demitri gets 10% off. So if they say 10? Demitri or MITA,
15% off. Just kidding.
15%. Des sent them. You're gonna get the MITA break.
Lou, you're my guy in New Jersey, and I know you haven't expanded national, but you developed an excellent reputation here, being the man to navigate, whether it's retail. Do you guys do delivery here in?
Yes, New Jersey does, and the only vertical integrated businesses are the original medical but so New Jersey, you can get multiples, but their individual licenses: cultivation, manufacturing, retail, delivery, distribution. Now you can do delivery as part of retail, obviously.
Right.
Okay. And now you can actually do, when they first rolled out, you couldn't do it. You could actually have one in each of those lanes. There's also labs, which obviously are independent from the whole process.
Also unlimited labs?
No, I think there's only about 5.
At the state level limited or at the local level?
I think it's just by reality.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think just by funding and reality. As more business can, remember, there's about 2,500 licenses, but probably about 250 businesses, only about 10%, maybe a little more, maybe 15%. But the reality is, as that continues to expand, there'll be more opportunities for labs.
Yeah, I got a little distracted there.
I understand.
It is what it is. There's a lot of people walking by, crazy guys.
They wave to you. They say hello.
Marijuana leaves and stuff.
You're like the, trying to see, do I want to say you're Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon rather, or Colbert, Johnny Carson, that's our generation, David Letterman, Conan.
Of the cannabis industry. Sure, Lou. I like that. I'd rather be Lou from New Jersey, though, the big-time attorney.
No, it's all good.
So here, I was saying retail, delivery, manufacturing, cultivation, whatever you're looking to do in New Jersey, there's opportunity. Get with Lou, maybe take him out to dinner at least, because that free consultation is always free, but he's got a ton of information about the market realities, the market structure, the licensing structure, the regulatory structure, who's who, what's what's happening. Mr. New Jersey himself, Lou.
Thank you, my friend.
So we'll see you at the next one. This is your hometown, so we had to get
I'll
you.
see you in Vegas. I'll see you in BizCon.
Yeah, we'll be at BizCon. Are you going to be at the Lenny's conference in Ohio?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. That's like the NECANN of Ohio. Lenny Craft curates a great conference. Then we'll be at Hall of Flowers, New York, so maybe we'll see you up there.
New York, probably.
Yeah, we'll catch you up there. But if not, we'll see you at MG BizCon. And when you come to New Jersey, contact Lou. And are you taking any New Jersey brands out of New Jersey yet?
Maybe.
Now, that's your in-house exit strategy. I got all the good things for you, Lou.
Maybe.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, pal. Take care.